Now, one of the biggest myths that's out there about the keto diet is the fact that you're going to lose your strength and your muscle mass. But first off, let me just assure you that is not the case. In today's video, I'm going to cover the absolute best workout strategy while you're following a ketogenic diet, and also which types of exercise you might want to consider avoiding. Before I do, hopefully you caught my other videos in my Keto Takeover series that I've been posting all week. If you haven't seen my keto cake recipe video or my video where I break down the science of ketosis and why it's proven superior to other popular diets trending today, or my 3 crucial veggies you need on a keto diet, make sure you go check those out. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how your body creates energy when you're on a ketogenic diet when it comes down to your workouts. The thing is you're not going to lose all your muscle when you're on a ketogenic diet. In fact, studies have shown that it's quite the opposite. The ketogenic diet preserves muscle dramatically. In fact, your resting metabolic rate doesn't even change when you're losing weight on a ketogenic diet. So if you were to lose 100 pounds or 50 pounds, normally your metabolism would slow down. But in the case of ketosis, it doesn't. And it doesn't slow down because you keep your muscle. So I want to get that out in the open. You preserve muscle with a keto diet, which means that you can save a lot of money on your grocery bill when it comes down to buying protein because you won't need as much because your body's already holding on to the muscle. But what we have to look at when it comes down to the workouts and the body is actually in a ketogenic state is how the body draws its energy. Normally, when you're working out, when you're lifting weights, you're in an anaerobic system. That anaerobic system means that you're working so hard that your body can't keep up with oxygen. So it has to create energy from glucose or from carbohydrates. Now, you would think that if you're deprived of carbohydrates, that you wouldn't be able to do this. But that's not the case. You see, even if you're not eating carbohydrates, your body magically makes them. I wouldn't call it magic, I guess it's just physiology. But your body always finds a way to make carbohydrates and store them in our muscles. This is called glycogen. And it can make glycogen from protein, it can make glycogen from all kinds of things. So that means that you're gonna have the carbohydrates that you need for performance in the gym, even if you're not eating them. So many naysayers are gonna tell you that you have lessened performance and that you're not gonna be able to lift as much. But the fact is, you are. You're still totally fine. You see, there's a couple of things you have to pay attention to. Okay, we have 3 different phases of energy when it comes down to producing power in our bodies. Okay, the first is aerobic. Aerobic energy is just like the name implies. It means with oxygen. So if you're going out and you're doing aerobics, like you're going for a jog or you're skipping rope or things like that, you're using the aerobic system, which means your body has enough time to breathe in oxygen and turn it into energy. No problem, okay? This is totally fine. Then you have the anaerobic system, which is where you're working just hard enough that your body can't get enough oxygen, so it has to use carbs. This is the situation I described just a moment ago. Then you have a third system. This third system is called the creatine phosphate system. And this creatine phosphate system utilizes neither fats nor carbs. It utilizes built-up energy that's already in your body from a very chemical, almost electrical-like reaction. Now, the creatine phosphate system is what gives you energy in the first few reps, okay? In the first 1 to 3 repetitions of any heavy activity or any kind of super intense load that you're gonna be under for a short amount of time. So if you're gonna go under a bench press and you're gonna bench press a maximum weight, you're using the creatine system. If you're gonna go and you're gonna push a sled for just a couple feet, you're gonna use the creatine phosphate system. Again, this doesn't use fats or carbs. So what we have to do is we have to start looking at how we can get the most out of our workouts while we're in a ketogenic state. If we focus on 2 things, we can have a lot of success. 1, occasionally go heavy. If you occasionally go heavy, you activate that creatine phosphate system, which doesn't matter whether you're low on carbs or not. And that means that you can still tax the muscle in the right way, but still get the nervous system response that you need to allow the muscle to adapt to heavier weight. Then when you're not utilizing that creatine phosphate system, you want to focus on the higher end of your hypertrophic range. What that means is you're just going to be sitting a little bit more in the ballpark of 14 to 18 reps. Why do you want to do this? Well, you want to focus in that range because it's closer to a time under tension approach. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to maximize the amount of glycogen that the muscle uses. So the longer that your muscle is under load, the more carbohydrates you're pulling in for energy, which means you have a higher likelihood of burning up those carbohydrates and allowing the body to use ketones a bit better. So you want to focus on doing some time under tension, where less so than counting reps, you're more so counting time. Okay, if you count the time that your muscle is under load, then you can really exhaust the muscles. The other thing this does is it activates what are called heat shock proteins. These heat shock proteins only activate when a muscle is under stress, particularly in an eccentric contraction or when it's, again, under load like a static hold. These heat shock proteins allow different chemical pathways to occur and enzymatic pathways to occur that allow you to build muscle and burn fat to a pretty significant degree. Okay, so let's talk about what you don't want to do really quick. What you don't want to do is sit in the typical low hypertrophy range of like 4 to 8 reps. If you're sitting in that 4 to 8 repetition range, you're going to be demanding so many carbohydrates from your body that you might not be that strong. And that's going to mess with your head more than anything. You're going to be strong in your first few reps, and you're going to be strong in the 12 to 18 rep range, but you're not going to be that strong in that middle rep range. And that's where most of us sit. Why? Because it's comfortable. It's comfortable when we're there because it's what we're used to. We like to just do 8 or 10 reps because it's been so ingrained in our minds. So when we start to see a decline in performance in that particular rep range, it just messes us up and we start thinking that we're declining in performance. Reality is we're just declining in that area. But if we change the rep range ever so slightly, we're going to be in a really good situation. The other kind of thing you want to be careful of is doing CrossFit style workouts. The reason is because those tap into both the anaerobic and the aerobic at the same time, which can make it very, very difficult for your body to ascertain what it should be fueling it with. Whether you have ketones in the system or you have glucose in the system, that style of workout that's associated with CrossFit can be a little bit tough. So you might just want to change the gear there a little bit more. So this is really all there is to it. You don't have to change a whole lot. And that's the purpose of this video. If you just make these fine little tweaks, you can have a lot of success on the keto diet. But mainly I wanted to put this stuff out there so you know where you might see a decline in performance and where you might see an improvement, so you don't get all messed up in the head worrying about it. Hey, so I want to make sure that you keep it locked in for tomorrow's video. Tomorrow, I'm going to release perhaps my most controversial keto video in this series. In tomorrow's video, I'm going to break down the 5 biggest drawbacks of the keto diet. Yep, you heard me right. There's some pretty big flaws, and tomorrow I'm going to be addressing them all because I want to be able to give you the easy tips that you can use to overcome these drawbacks so you can experience maximum benefits while you're on the ketogenic diet. And speaking of the keto diet, your chance to enroll for a shot to win my entire Ketox diet course for free will be over tomorrow at midnight. So if you haven't done so, I want you to head on over to my website by clicking the link in the description that's down below and enter your information. I'm going to be drawing 100 random early enrollees to receive my complete Ketox course for free. Plus, when you opt in, I'm going to email you a free digital copy of my Pizza Lover's Cookbook so that you can see for yourself just how incredibly satisfying the keto lifestyle truly is. So if you're ready to take the keto challenge, just click that link down in the description and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.